Greetings and salutations to you, one and all. Once again, it is me, the Ravenous Spectre. This video is going to be on why I hate motion controls. I absolutely hate them so much. Now, I have tried them out. I've tried them out on multiple occasions, and it sucked every single time. Granted, this was one of the things that, around the time that the Wii came out, it's like, ooh, it's motion controls. It's something brand new. Let's give it a shot. It's shit. The Wiimote is the worst, absolute worst controller in the history of gaming. Out of all the controllers that I've ever used, the Wiimote is the worst. The calibration is shit. No matter how many times I tried to calibrate it properly, it was still too sensitive for me, or the fact that it wasn't actually picking up on the sensor bar like it was supposed to. And the exact same thing goes with any other motion controls. Of course, you know, I'm mainly a PlayStation guy. The PS3 controller with the motion controls sucked. Same thing with the calibration. Super sensitive every single time. PlayStation 4, motion controls, at least for me as of right now, sucks. Like, for example, where they have where you can put in different characters for when you're sending a message to someone. Total suckage, man. Using that motion control to just try to pick characters on the screen, it's like the thing is jacked up on caffeine and just totally just spazzing out, like the controller has Tourette's or something. When you try to actually move the motion control properly to put in a character, it's all over the screen, just like this, and I'm sitting here barely moving the thing and it's just all over the place. That is aggravating as all get out. That just pisses me off to no end, as I'm sure it does the rest of you out there in YouTube land just as well, because you probably feel the same way about motion controls as I do, unless you had a whole lot of better luck than I have. For example, there's one of my friends, actually he's a viewer on my YouTube channel. His name is Brandon Gregg. Definitely check him out. He has a whole lot of videos out there. That's a cheap little plug to put in there, whatever you want to say. He has a lot of amusing videos out there. It has like his own little talk show that he does just as well. So definitely check him out. But back to the whole motion controls thing. He had the PlayStation Move, and I don't think he has it anymore. I think he ended up selling it, or maybe he got it back again. I'm not necessarily sure. That's something I haven't talked to him about in a while. But he and I actually ended up playing a motion control game, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was one of the Dead Space games that actually came out on the Wii, as a matter of fact, when you were using the Wiimote to shoot the necromorphs and all of that. It also came out on PlayStation 3. I think it came as like a singular download, but it also came with Dead Space 2, I think. I don't think it came with Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3 is shit. That whole buddy cop chick flick kind of deal is BS compared to the first and second one. Dead Space 1 and 2, far more superior than the third one is. I hope that they're actually making, speaking on a side note, I hope they're actually making another title in that series, but nothing like the third one. It had microtransactions out the ass. I hate microtransactions. Of course, you already know that, especially as I talked about on many times before about piecemeal DLC. Screw microtransactions. Anyways, never got involved in that, never will, and that was a whole nother reason why Dead Space 3 sucked. Microtransactions and that whole little buddy cop BS with the little chick flick of being all, whatever it was, the two guys, I think they were fighting over that. I don't care, it was crap. Didn't care about it. Like I said, first and second one are best. If you never ever played them, play the first and second one and spare yourself from playing the third one. Please. Anyways, but that's just my opinion. But, yeah. I mean, I do have a Wii U, and I do have a Wiimote, and the reason that I do have the Wiimote is so that I can get access to the Wii screen. I don't know if Nintendo's might have changed that since now with updates or whatever the case may be, but I've always had to use the Wiimote to be able to access the Wii part of the Wii U to play Wii games. And that's all that I use it for. And honestly, I refrain from getting any type of games that require the Wiimote. It could be an option if it wants to, fine. I'm not going to use it. But if it's a game that I really want to play, I'm probably not going to go after it because it's going to be a waste of money. Because the Wiimote is just like this, just like I said before, all over the screen. I hate that so much. Now, if you're actually taking the Wiimote and turning it to the side and using it like that, you're not actually using the motion control or nothing. It's just like a wireless controller like the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox 360, Xbox One, whatever. It's just like basically a wireless controller. You're not moving it all over the freaking place like that and just spazzing out with moving around like this and like you're going to throw your arms out of a socket or launch it across the room into your TV or knock down a vase or vase or however you say it and just shatter it all over the place or throw it across the room and hit your dog in the face or hit your cat in the face or hit it in their ass or whatever the case may be. You know, it's just kind of funny also with dealing with that. I actually had a friend of mine. At one point, it was like years ago or something, I was like in the 8th or 9th grade. He said, yeah, one time I stuck a firecracker in a cat's ass and lit it. I'm like, okay, yeah. Sorry, that was another side note right there. But anyways, we'll get back to the topic at hand. The whole thing with the Wii motion controls was just shit. And that's probably the main one that I'm on, is when I actually experienced that, and then I went and experienced the PlayStation 3, and then with the whole motion control thing, I was like, I just couldn't stand it, man. I absolutely could not stand it. And yeah, it might be terrible that I'm actually avoiding games that require the Wiimote with the Wii. It's like, oh, this is such an amazing game. Here's the thing. The Legend of Zelda series is my all-time favorite Nintendo series. Granted, I don't think I've ever actually finished the game in the Zelda series, you know. Blasphemy! I know. But I just haven't. But it's funny because, like, I finished Mario games and things like that at the exact same time I haven't finished a Zelda game. But I'm big into medieval fantasy anyway, so that's probably one reason why I gravitate so much towards the Legend of Zelda series. But the thing is like, I kind of sit back and think about it, and I'm like, that's just kind of crazy how I never really bothered with Skyward Sword because of the Wiimote thing, and I still won't bother with it because of the Wiimote thing. You know, I've some people like it, some people don't, and they say that the controls is all screwy or whatever, but honestly, like, even, and what's crazy is, it seems like the layout of that controller seems so simple, but in my mind, I can't register it without actually looking at the controller. It's crazy, I know, because it just has like a few different buttons here and there, but the way that it's laid out, I cannot grasp it in my head without looking at the controller. Every other controller that I've ever used, I've always managed to memorize buttons in my head. But when it's down to that Wiimote, man, I just cannot fathom it at all. I can't get, I don't know why that is, but I just can't. It may be because of the fact when I'm trying to press the buttons, and then at the exact same time I'm trying to move, it's like, I guess both sides of my brain, or just my brain in general, can't really comprehend it all. So I have to, like, I'm just like, I just want to stand there or sit there and just use buttons. I don't want to go and just, like, you know, press buttons and then have to move this way. You got to move this way and move this way and that way and this way and that way and this way and round up and down, round and round, round and up and round, swing them around like pom-poms and up and down, around, you know, just all like this. I just can't take that. It drives me nuts. So, anyways, maybe I could end up, you know, screwing myself out of some great gameplay experiences, but one of the main things for great games is great controls. If the controls aren't there, screw your game. I'm not messing with it because I can't control it for shit. I'm just hoping that when the Nintendo NX comes out, it gets rid of motion controls. If you want to have motion controls, let them be optional. Otherwise, I'm not fucking with your console. I'm not messing with it. I don't care how great it is. I don't care. If it still has motion controls, and if that's something that's required, screw it. I'm saving my money. Because ever since motion controls came out, they have been crap ever since for me. Ever since they've been crap. Something I definitely want to refrain from. And it kind of gets in my head about VR, you know, virtual reality that's coming out. I'm very skeptical about that too. Because it seems like that could actually be more detrimental on your psyche or just yourself in general, like it's putting you in another world. What happens if it malfunctions or catches on fire and your head catches on fire, it sparks and, you know, I don't know, man. What if, like, people die from it? What if, like, it just malfunctions and goes out of control? You know, because they say when you put that headset on, it transforms you into another world. It transforms you. Well, I guess technically it could, but actually it's transporting you into another world. And when you take it off, you have to give yourself a few minutes to kind of relax and get back into the real world. I mean, what if there's some real screwed up malfunctions? Well, I don't trust that right now. I mean, when motion controls were actually announced, I didn't even really trust those. And sure enough, I was right. When I tried to use them, it just didn't work out for me. Not at all. And so, hang on a second. I got to adjust my pants. Hang on a second. I gave myself a wedgie. I had to adjust it. Anyways, but The thing is with that is I'm just not messing with these motion controls anymore. I'm just so sick of them. If they want to be optional for the NX or any other future gaming devices, then so be it. But I'm not going to be using them because I don't trust them anymore. I don't. Especially like, for example, with the 3D on the 3DS. Yeah, the new Nintendo 3DS XL, the new just another way to make money on a freaking device that's already out. But we're going to advance a few little things. Anyways, once again, as I was saying, the 3D on that really doesn't... Damn, that hurt. I don't know my own strength. I hurt my damn self. The 3D on that still isn't... I mean, yeah, okay, it's better than it is on the original 3DS. But the way that it is, it's still not the absolute best. It really isn't. I mean, because even with me trying, I mean, yeah, you can move it around and see what's what on there and this and that. And it's a little bit better than it is on the original. But it's still not true 3D as they try to claim for it to be. I never even use the 3D. I always turn it off. Screws with my eyes anyways. Maybe it's my sight, maybe it's my glasses, maybe it's both. I have no clue. But anyways, this is a long video. This is a long rant. This is a long things that I had to say. But that's kind of how I feel about motion controls. So, I'll end this like I always do. Later, Tariff. I about fell over my desk and broke my damn face and my monitor. Can you believe that shit? Hang on a second. I gotta stop this thing.